Perfect. All right, you guys, let's start on our backs, or excuse me, let me start that over. Not on our backs. We're gonna lay on the floor like you just were laying in your bed. So however you sleep at night, whether you're a side sleeper, a back sleeper, a belly sleeper, a leg up sleeper, find the position that feels the most like you were just in your bed. The position that feels the most like you were just in your bed. And then once you kind of settle into that, notice the external weather around you. So the sounds, the smells. Notice how the floor feels. And then just gently remind yourself that you have been safe at home. That you're safe at home, that there are so many people that actually don't have a space right now to feel safe in, to be home at. And so we lay like we were in our beds, reminding ourselves of how lucky we are to have that space. And then just starting to notice the rise and fall of your breath, the internal weather. And then start to create some even inhales and even exhales. And so we do this by inhaling through the nose about 4 to 5 counts. And then exhale out the nose again, about 5 to 6 counts. And start to create this rhythmic breathing. And every time you exhale, the exhale catches at the back of your throat. And so you start to create this ujjayi breath, this victorious breath, and it sounds similar to the ocean, and it becomes the soundtrack of your practice. And so even as sounds happen outside of you and your internal dialogue gets louder, you can come back to your breath. And so from here, just staying in that position that feels safe, that position that feels like you were in bed, holding space for a second, that you are lucky enough to have a space to call home, to have a safe bed to sleep in, that you are safe at home, you're not stuck at home, that this time is temporary, and that we are learning so much about ourselves and each other through this new, interesting time. From here, go ahead and just push yourself up to a seated position. So you're sitting nice and tall, maybe cross-legged or on your shins, whatever feels comfortable for you. Taking the hands to the heart for a moment, and then just reminding yourself of a few other things that you have to be grateful for. So we start our practice with the vibration of gratitude. And sometimes there might be things at the forefront of your mind that you don't really want to take you into a space of gratitude, but let's just try. So did you have fresh water next to the bed when you woke up? Do you have a freezer and a refrigerator full of food? Are most of the people that you know healthy and happy? Has technology served us in this moment so that we have an opportunity to connect? So filling your heart with gratitude, finding where the sun is in fact shining on your life. We'll inhale from root to crown and we'll exhale out for one collective Om. Deep breath in. Keeping the eyes closed, pausing for a moment in the vibration that connects the entire universe. Honoring that even though we are spread across the globe, we have an opportunity to connect and feel and breathe and move with each other. Blinking the eyes open. We're gonna move right away onto our hands and knees. So coming onto your hands and knees, you guys make sure the wrist creases are in line with the front of the mat so they're parallel. The index fingers are parallel with the sides of the mat. You're gonna press the ground away a whole bunch. Think of lifting the armpits away from the ground. Draw the navel in and protract through the upper shoulder girdle. Once you do that, you're gonna soften your tailbone towards your heels and then roll your chin all the way down into your chest. Roll your chin all the way into your chest and then hold that for a moment. You should feel the back of the neck opening up, maybe right between your traps, opening up through the scapula. Press the spine a whole bunch, like you're pushing your spine high like a cat. And then inhale, drop the heart forward and then lift it. Lift your tailbone, reach the collarbones, let them broaden. And then exhale, round and protract again. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, protract again, find your cat. Inhale, reach the heart forward, find your cow. And then exhale, pull it back in, find your cat. So press, press, press a whole bunch here. Pull the lower belly in. And then drop the chin even further into the chest. Good, from here, come back to a neutral spine. Take your left ear to your left shoulder. Trying to touch your left ear towards your left shoulder and then pull the right shoulder back a little bit more. So you'll feel this open up through the neck and the scalenes. Roll the shoulder head back of the right deltoid. And then stay connected with your breath and feel that start to open. Good, go ahead, drop the head down, take the chin to the chest, and then roll the right shoulder towards the right, the right ear towards the right shoulder. Pull the left deltoid back, feel that open up through the side of the neck, and notice if there's any stiffness or tension in there. Maybe you weren't even aware of it. We carry so much of it up in our upper thoracic and our neck and our shoulder girdle. Sometimes we aren't even aware. And then bring it back to center. From here, drop the chin all the way into the chest. Look down at your toes, tuck your right toes, tuck your left toes, zip up the lower belly, and just lift the knees off the ground. So we're coming into bear. Right away, suck the lower belly in, soften the tailbone, and then press the ground away even more. See if you can shift the hips back just a little bit. Press the ground away, find the protraction in the upper shoulder girdle. We're just turning up the belly for a moment. Good, and then from there, you're gonna take the right leg exactly how it is, and you're just gonna open it up towards the side. So we're turning on the stabilizer muscles. You're also getting a good stretch in those left toes. So the heel is off of the mat on your left leg. You should feel a stretch in the big toes right away. Lift the right leg even higher. It's almost like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. One more big breath in, and then exhale, take the toes down, drop your knees. Good, flip your wrist the other direction. Let the fingers face towards the knees. Lift the heart, find your cat. Find your cow. And then exhale, round and protract, find your cat. Fingertips are facing towards the knees. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, round, protract through the shoulders. Good, inhale one more time. And then exhale, protract the shoulders, round your spine, tuck your chin in. Good, go ahead, flip the palms back the other direction. Spin them out just a tiny bit towards the right. Once you're there, come back into your bear pose. So the toes are tucked under, the belly scoops in, lift yourself up. Good, and then from here, take the left leg and just open it up. So you're firing up a little bit of balance. You're getting a stretch in the right toes. You're pressing through the ground, firing up gluteus medius. So this should be working that outer hip area, those connectors. Few breaths, and Rebecca, you might feel this in your hip. Breathe through it. Few breaths. And then slowly put the feet down, drop the knees down, tuck your toes under, and take yourself into a child's pose. So you're gonna pull the hips all the way back and then just kind of wiggle the hips back and forth, like you're trying to get your glutes to touch your heels. And so for some of us that might be really tight, you might be in a closed body right now and you might be way up here like this, and that's okay, try not to judge it. Check in, the knees are wider than hips. Pull the chest down towards the ground, drop the crown of the head into the mat. And then gently walk your hands out in front of you. Walk the hands out in front of you so it's an active child's pose. So the arms are reaching forward. Think of spinning the thumbs up and the triceps down. Few breaths. Good, from here, lift your chest a little bit. You're gonna take your left hand outside of your mat, and then you're gonna walk your right hand on top of your left. Pull the right hip back a whole bunch and feel the side body open up. So the side oblique. Pull the right hip back so you're sinking the hips into your heels, but you're opening up through the right side of the obliques. And then remember to stay connected to your breath. Good, and then slowly walk the right hand all the way to the right side of the mat. Walk the left hand all the way over. Big breath in. And then exhale, find that side. Mute all. Good, and so the left hip pulls back. The left hand is on top of the right hand. And you feel the side body open. From here, slowly walk your hands forward. Good, go ahead, come up. You're gonna put the hands down like a Sphinx pose. So the forearms come down. Forearms come down, your hands are spread nice and wide. From here, you're gonna take the left foot back, stomp your toes, right foot back, stomp your toes. And then squeeze the inseam of the thighs towards the ceiling. Drop the hips kind of low so they're in line with the shoulders. Press the armpits away from the ground. Good, press into the forearms, and then your gaze is forward. So turning up the lower belly for a moment. Good, and then draw the front ribs in, lift the frontal hip points up towards the front ribs. Shoot the tailbone towards the heels, and then lift the right leg high. As you lift the right leg, you're pushing the heel towards the back of the room. Building some balance, getting into our stabilizer muscles right away. A few breaths. Good, go ahead, drop the right foot down. Remember, you're tucking the toes under, lift the left leg up. Press the heel to the back of the room, zip up lower belly. Press the ground away, armpits away from the floor. Few breaths. Good, and then go ahead, put your toes so they're in line with your hips. So there's about maybe 10 inches between your toes. Look in front of your mat, big breath in, and as you exhale, you're gonna shift your weight onto the sides of your feet. So you're dropping the right hips down a little bit, and we're getting a little oblique crunch. So finding this, shoot the tailbone towards the heels. Pull the right obliques in. Few breaths. Try to keep the shoulders parallel to the front of the room. And then from here, come back up onto your tippy toes and shift it over towards your left. Pull the left obliques in a whole bunch. Legs are straight and strong. You're on the sides of your feet now. You're shooting your tailbone towards the heels behind you. Your gaze is in front of you. So you're making space in the spine. Good, and then bring yourself back to center. Nice, from here, interlace your hands. Interlace your hands, press the ground away a little bit more. Your shoulders should be warm now. We're gonna drop down to the right. Inhale, lift it up, drop the left hip down to the left. So we're finding a twist right here in our obliques. So a couple right, left. This time, touch the booty all the way towards the mat. Few breaths. So getting a little bit of mobility through the lower back, warming up through the torso, building a little heat in the body. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Bring yourself back to your forearm plank and then drop down all the way to the floor. Go ahead, take the hands in Sphinx pose. So the elbows are wider than your chest. Your hands are planted on the ground. Both of your thighs are on the mat. From here, drag your torso forward with your forearms and lift your chest. So you should feel like you're pulling the mat towards you, even though the mat is catching on your hips. All 10 toes touch the mat, lift your chest, open up. Add a little bit more force, and then slowly lay yourself all the way down. Good. From here, you're gonna take the right leg, lift it up a whole bunch, take it back behind you. Lift the left leg up a whole bunch, take it back behind you. From here, take the arms out to the side like a cactus. So your forearms are still touching the mat. Warming up the back body. Oops, I gotta let somebody in. Oh man, I missed it. Warming up the back body here. From here, big breath in, and as you exhale, you're gonna lift your cactus arms off the mat, lift your chest. So it's almost like you just were in Sphinx pose, but now you're lifting this way, right? So lifting, engaging the posterior chain. All 10 toes are touching the mat. Thighs are on the mat, so we're warming up the back body. Go ahead, slowly lower. Big breath in. Exhale, lift up again, cactus the elbows, lift the chest, press the toes into the mat, shoot the tailbone towards the heels, and then exhale, slowly back down. One more time like that. Inhale, lift the chest. Good, from here, take the hands behind the back, interlace them if you can, maybe maybe a strap or a t-shirt or a towel. And then from here, exhale, lift the chest even more, broaden through the collarbones, hands lift up off the lower booty, and then slowly release. Good morning. From here, go ahead, tip the hands just behind the breastplate, And then slowly bring yourself up for a baby cobra. Once you're there, take the hands even further back and press yourself up for upward facing dog. So I just want to go over upward facing dog for a moment. So in upward facing dog, the elbows are pointing backwards, the hands are spread wide. Your elbows are back like a grasshopper. Then when you press up, notice that my shoulders aren't like this in my ears. So you want to extend and press the ground away. And you're bending the elbows just a little bit by engaging through your biceps. Your thighs are off of the mat, but your tailbone is pointing towards the heels. You're broadening the collarbone. And notice that my chin isn't reaching up to the ceiling. My chin tucks in a little bit for Jalandhar. That's a chin lock. Okay, so open up the chest, press the ground away, thighs are off the mat. From there, lift the hips, press through the arms, then tuck your toes, downward facing dog. And here you are in your first downward facing dog of the morning. So go ahead, pedal out your heels, pedal out your feet. Arms are straight and strong. Can you think of moving the biceps towards the front of the room and the triceps back? From here, take a generous bend in the knees, put your chest on your thighs. Engage stronger through the arms, make more space in the spine, and then straighten your legs. Good, from here, inhale, shift forward out to plank, top of a push-up. Everybody drop down to your knees, look forward, shift forward like you're looking over a cliff, the elbows go back, the chest goes forward, and then pause when your shoulders are in line with your wrists. Then press yourself up, either baby cobra or upward facing dog. And then tuck your toes, push it back, downward facing dog. Good, from here, inhale, shift forward, top of a push-up. Drop your knees if you need, or slowly lower, find your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, press the ground away, thighs are off the mat. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back, downward facing dog. Now match your breath to your movement. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back, downward facing dog. Nice, from here, go ahead and walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Walk your hands back to your feet and then just hang here in a forward fold. Gently nod your head yes. Gently shake your head no. Maybe take a good juicy bend in the knees and put your thighs on your, put your chest on your thighs. Hang there, super good bend, grab both elbows and then gently nod your head yes. Shake it. From here, take your hand to the crown of your head. It's my favorite part of practice because I feel like we are in our heads every single day, especially right now, yeah? So find the crown of your head, find a little doorway, find a gate or doorway, visualize what it looks like. Maybe it's wood, maybe it's an ornate iron gate, maybe it's just a household door, whatever it is. Maybe it's a safe, maybe it's a giant vault. Visualize whatever that door is at the crown of your head. Go ahead, turn the key and let the door fall open on its hinges. So let gravity swing that door open. And then from there, let all of the extra stuff that you've been carrying in your mind just start to drip out of you. So any anxiousness, any fear, any over-prepping, any resentment, any frustration, any anger, any pain, any sorrow, any of that stuff, let it drain out of your brain for a moment. And so we just give ourselves a free, clear space between our ears to move different energies through, to process through, to practice through. And then once you see every last drop drip out, go ahead, close that little door, turn the key. And then take the hands to the ground, blink the eyes open, inhale halfway, lift, hands come to your shins. Exhale, fold in, maybe you straighten your legs. Inhale, halfway, lift, hands to the shins. Exhale, hands to the hips, and then the inhale brings you all the way up, standing to the top of your mat. Nice. So we're gonna take Tadasana, you guys. Your toe knuckles touch each other. Your heels are behind your second toe. From here, you're gonna lift your frontal hip points, hands to the heart. Tadasana is mountain pose. How we stand on our mat is often how we stand in life, yeah? So just check in, root yourself into the earth. Root yourself into the earth. Visualize that you have roots coming out of the soles of your feet and you can see them moving into the earth surface. Let them keep you connected whenever you feel like you've gone upstairs and been in the chaos of your mind. Root yourself in, allow yourself to be present. Remember that it is impossible to breathe in the future or the past. It's only possible to breathe in the now. So if we root in and focus on our breath, we will be in the present moment. And our presence is our absolute power. From here, inhale the arms, reach Urdhva. Exhale, take the whole pelvis over, the femurs fold forward, Uttanasana. Move slow through this, breathe the reach pose. Inhale, the heart reach as you lift the spine halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, take the hands to the mat, step back to plank, slowly lower through your version of Chaturanga. Inhale, press your up dog or cobra, and exhale, tuck the toes, push it back, downward facing dog. From here, inhale, shift forward to plank, top of a push-up. Right away, take the right leg, lift it up high. Stay low in that three-legged plank. Big breath in, and then exhale, shift forward, slowly lower, find your Chaturanga. And then exhale, press yourself right back up to plank and push yourself three-legged, down-legged dog. Three-legged dog, so the right leg is up. Good, keep the right leg up for a moment. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Keep the right leg up still. Slowly lower to your Chaturanga. Inhale, press back up to plank and back up to three-legged dog. Nice, one more time. Inhale out to plank, top of a push-up. You still have that right leg lifted. Exhale, slowly lower to your Chaturanga. Inhale, press back up to plank and back to three-legged dog. Good morning, arms. From here, exhale, step the right foot between the hands. You're gonna drop the left knee, uncurl the toes, and then slowly start to rise up. So you can interlace these hands on top of the right thigh, sink deep, lift the chest, and then even though we're kind of sinking deep and open, we still want to be squaring the hips to the front of the room. So move the right foot to the right a little bit. Left knee stays where it is. Pull the right hip back, sink deep, and then lift lower belly. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, cactus the elbows, open up the chest. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, take the hands behind the back, interlace them, open up your collarbones, and then sink a little bit deeper. See if you can pull the hands away from the lower lumbar. Big breath in. And then exhale, take both hands to the inside of the inside of the right leg. Tuck your left toes, lift the back leg up, and then just stay here for a second. So the back leg is lifted, quad is engaged, you're pulling the right hip back, and you're just gonna stay in this for a few breaths. Reach the heart forward, spine is long. Good, from here, put the left hand down, press the ground away so much that the shoulder moves away from the ear, and then twist the right arm up. Find this gentle twist. Right arm reaches towards the ceiling, right ribs are following. Left ribs are moving up. Good, back leg is still straight and strong. Nice, now go ahead, take the right hand to the right knee, drop the left knee down. You're gonna reach back and try to collect this left foot. So sometimes that's really challenging. Sometimes our hip flexors are super tight. Now that we've been doing a lot of sitting, a lot of Netflix and chill, we might have some hip flexors that are super tight. So take your time and then find whatever version feels good. Remember to use your breath as the filter that it is. So when you feel tightness, when you feel soreness, breathe into that area. So you send an inhale right to the spaces that are speaking to you. Good, without flinging the legs. So that means you have to engage the hamstring and then slowly release it down. Spin the right arm back over to the inside of the right foot. Lift the left leg, step the foot back behind you, and then push yourself back, downward facing dog. So you should feel that opening over there in the hip flexor. That should have felt pretty good. Or maybe that's just me. From here, inhale, shift forward to plank, top of a push-up. You're gonna lift the left leg. You're gonna lift the left leg so you're in your plank. You're in your three-legged plank. So the hips are low, yeah? The heel is pointing back. Good, big breath in. And then exhale, slowly lower, find your three-legged Chaturanga. Press yourself back up to plank, and now you're in three-legged dog. Good, so if ever this part is too much for you, you put that leg down. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Slowly lower to your three-legged Chaturanga. Inhale, press up to three-legged plank, and exhale, bring it back, three-legged dog. One more time like that. Inhale, shift forward to three-legged plank. Exhale, three-legged Chaturanga. Press up and back to downward facing dog. Good, from here, step the left foot between the hands, drop the right knee, uncurl the right toes. Move your left foot to the left a little bit. Good. Interlace your hands, put them on top of that thigh, and then sink deep. From here, lift the frontal hip points, lift your heart, and then inhale, arms reach. Big breath in, reach the heart up and open. As you exhale, cactus the arms, press the heart forward. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, take the hands both to the inside of the mat. Inside of the left foot. Curl the left toes, right toes under, and then straighten your leg. You're gonna stay right here. So we're not twisting yet. We're gonna let this kind of settle and let the body release into it. So remember that every time you inhale, you ask for space. And every time you exhale, you sink a little bit deeper into the space that you just created. The left heel presses back. Good, from here, you're gonna press strong out of the right arm. Press so much that the ribs start to lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. Remember that the back leg is still super active, and so is that top arm. So try not to let the arm just flail behind you. Think of lifting it towards the ceiling. So all of your limbs are participating and supporting your body. Right ribs roll under, left ribs roll up. Good, and then from here, take the left hand on top of the left knee. You're gonna drop the right knee down. You're gonna engage the hamstring so you bring the foot as close to the glute as possible. Reach the left hand back to try to touch. Ooh, notice if that's your tighter side. For me, that for sure is. And then pull that up, find your hip flexor stretch. Good, and then your gaze is either at the ceiling, maybe to the side. Whatever version feels good to you. Remember to stay connected to your breath. Good, and then slowly engage your hamstring so you don't fling the leg. Release it back down, take both hands to the inside of that foot, lift the right leg up off the ground, reopen that hip a little bit. Good, and then step the foot straight back and push yourself back, downward facing dog. Nice job, you guys. Pedal out your feet a little bit. From here, inhale, shift forward to plank, both legs are down. Slowly lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. From here, you're gonna step the right foot between the hands. You'll drop the back foot at a very, to make it parallel with the back of the mat. Sink deep in the front knee, and then you're gonna come up for warrior two. So setting yourself up for your first warrior two. So in our warrior series, you either are heel to arch alignment, so your feet are on a tightrope, or you're heel to heel alignment, so your feet are on train tracks. So right now you're on that tightrope. So think of the inseam of the left thigh, of the left foot is in line with the heel of the front foot. Put your hands on your hips for a moment and then just kind of knock them around side to side like a bowl and then level that out so they're nice and neutral. So you're not dropping the right hip forward like this and you're not sticking the booty out like that, right? Nice and neutral. That bowl of water is not spilling water anywhere. Sink deep, reach to the front and back of the room. Good, gazes over the right hand. And then we have a lot of things that we can focus on and refine here. So drop in. So the back foot is sealing the outer arch, the outer edge into the mat. You're lifting the inner arch of the back foot. The back leg is straight and strong. Sinking deep in the front knee, trying to get a 90-degree bend. Pulling the lower belly in, reaching across the décolleté to the front and back of the room. Few breaths. Maybe you can wiggle the toes of your front foot. Maybe you start to be able to sink a little bit deeper. Staying connected to your breath, noticing that stillness is quite challenging. Try to release any tension in the upper shoulders. Maybe you flip the front palm and the back palm to release the upper traps. Once you flip the arms, then you're just gonna pronate at the elbow, holding that. A few more breaths. Noticing the sensations that start to come up in the body, just observe them. So we use the movement of the body to tune into our tonal dialogue. Good, from here, flip the front palm. Inhale, reach up and back. So open up the front right side of the body. Now straighten the front leg. Create one long line of energy from the big toe of the right leg all the way to the pointer finger of the right arm. Good, big breath in. You're gonna bring yourself forward. Now from here, we're gonna tilt the pelvic wheel towards the front right leg. So you're letting the water spill over the right leg. Nice. Once you do that, you take the hand to the outside of the front foot. Lift the left arm up. Let the shoulders fall back, and then imagine that you're fitting yourself between two sheets of glass. So now you're in triangle pose, Trikonasana. If this is hard on the sides of the body or the lower back, you can come up a little higher and put your hand on your shin. Just don't dump onto your shin. You're lifting with the right obliques. You can also use a block. Good, from here, few breaths. So remember, right ribs roll under you, front ribs pull in. Your tailbone is moving towards the heel of the back foot. Good, and the crown of your head is in line with your tailbone. Few breaths. Can you put a little more pressure in the big toe of the right foot so you're engaging through the back of the leg? Good, now look down at that right leg, bend deep in the front knee, and then bring yourself back up Virabhadrasana 2. Nice, go ahead, straighten the front leg, put both feet so they face the same direction. The toes are gonna go in and the heels are gonna go out a little bit. From here, hands on your hips. Inhale, open up your chest, roll the shoulders back a whole bunch. So you're trying to put the elbows towards the back of the room, hands are on the lower lumbar. Big breath in, and as you exhale, rotate your whole pelvis over your femurs, come halfway forward. Now I want you to check in. Are you shifting your weight into the heels or the balls of your feet? I want you to move the weight more towards the balls of your feet, almost like your toes want to crunch, but they don't. And then fold even farther forward. Firm the outer ankles in, firm the gluteus medius, the sides of the booty, and then take the hands down towards the mat. Once your hands are down towards the mat, you can start to walk them further than your heels. Your fingertips are facing your face though, and you have a bend in the elbows about 90 degrees. Relax the shoulders, but don't let them collapse into your ears. So you're drawing the scapula up towards your hips, even though you're releasing through the upper traps. Outer ankles firm in. Feel the stretch in the back of the legs. Make sure you're putting more of the weight in the balls of your feet than in the heels. If you feel anything in the back of the knees, make sure you can engage your quads to lift your kneecaps. And then slowly crawl yourself forward a little bit. Spine is long, open up your chest. Good. From here, inhale, heart reaches forward. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale, root through the feet, come all the way up. Good. You're gonna spin the inseam of the left thigh out to face the back of your mat now. You're gonna turn the back toes in just a tiny bit, seal the outer edge of the back foot, pretend you have that bowl of water that you're trying not to spill, sink deep, and then find Virabhadrasana 2 on your left leg. So Warrior 2 on your left leg. Spin the inseam of the thigh out towards the pinky toe, reach the arms to the front and back. Open up the chest, sink deep, gaze is over your left hand, and then we sit here. Coming back to the breath. Tuning into your body. Where's your back arm? Is your knee tracking over the second toe? Can you firm the outer edge of the back foot? Can you lift up through the torso? Can you make your spine a little bit longer? If you feel this on your upper traps and your neck and shoulders, can you flip the palms, release them, and then pronate from the forearm to fingertips. Pull the front ribs in, sink a little bit deeper. And then notice the shake and quake. Few breaths. Tailbone is moving towards the floor. Frontal hip points are lifting towards the navel. Good, from here, flip the front palm. Inhale, reach up first. So you're opening up the left side of the body. Light on the back ribs. And then straighten the front leg. Press one long line of energy from the tips of your big toe to the tips of your fingertips. Big breath in. Now exhale, bring yourself forward. You're gonna shift the pelvis forward this time, just like you did the other direction. Take the left hand to the outside of the left foot. Right arm reaches to the ceiling. So you might feel a little bit of pressure in that left ankle. Make sure you bend your knee a little bit. So a little micro bend in the knee is awesome. And the way you do that is just engage your quad. Roll the left ribs underneath you, right ribs to the ceiling. Let the chest fall back a little bit more. So it's almost this feeling of falling back in the torso, but really you're just fitting yourself between two sheets of glass. Right arm reaches to the ceiling. You should feel the right body open up. And so your chest is not facing down. Your chest is facing the side wall. Gaze into the top hand, a few breaths. Again, if that's too much for you, you can absolutely use a block. You can take your hand up onto your shin. Pull the lower belly in to shoot the tailbone towards the heel. Good, look down at that big toe of your left foot. Press through that foot, bend your knee deeply. Once you bend your knee deeply, bring yourself back up, Virabhadrasana 2. Good, go ahead, straighten the front leg. Hands to your hips, bring your feet towards, excuse me, facing forward. Excuse me. From here, interlace the hands behind your back. Open up your chest. Good, few breaths in. As you exhale, can you reach forward with the heart? So reach forward, instead of thinking of falling down, just go forward. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen as much space as you can. And then fold all the way forward, Prasarita Padottanasana C. Can you pull the hips back a little bit, even though you're shifting the weight into the balls of your feet? A few breaths here. Good, from here, lift yourself halfway up. Once you're halfway up, hands to the hips. Inhale, come all the way back up. Good, we're just gonna bring ourselves back to the top of the mat. Shake your legs out, open up your hips a little bit, maybe collect your water. Or your matcha, your coffee, or whatever you're drinking. Nice job, you guys. From here, coming to the top of your mat. Go ahead, lift the frontal hip points, soften the tailbones down. Toes touch each other. Inhale, arms reach. Sink deep, Utkatasana, chair pose. From this chair pose, right away, lift the lower belly in, soften the tailbone down. Look forward and then check in with your arms. They're probably gonna be way out in front of you, and that's okay. So we don't need them to be straight up. In fact, that's not gonna happen for a lot of bodies, and that would cause a lot of extra tension in the upper traps. So we want this scapulohumeral rhythm, which is this upward rotation of the scapula so that it drops down out of the ears. So you want a lot of space here. And I'll just explain that to you while you're burning in your chair pose, and you can curse at me later. Pull the lower belly in, sink deep. Reach the thumbs high. Big breath in. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to plank. Slowly lower through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. So step your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, take the right knee to the outside of the right elbow. Hold that there. Exhale, drop the knee down towards the wrist, and then inhale it right back up to the elbow. Exhale it down to the wrist, right back up to the elbow, down to the wrist, right back up to the elbow, shoot it back for that three-legged dog, and then exhale, step the foot between the hands. You're gonna stay high on the back foot. So as we move through Surya Namaskar B, we're gonna move through it in crescent pose today. So that heel is always gonna stay up, and the back leg is gonna stay active. From here, engage through the lower belly, lift yourself up. Put a generous bend in the back knee first. So notice that both of my knees have a juicy bend. That's protecting my lower lumbar. Once I have this, pull the lower belly in and then slowly start to straighten the front leg. The back leg. Few breaths. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Good, inhale, cactus the arms. Exhale, arms reach. Take yourself all the way down. Step the foot back, find your version of chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. So the feet are a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Left foot floats to the ceiling. Exhale, take the knee to the outside of the left elbow. Slide it down towards the wrist. Inhale it up to the elbow. Exhale it down towards the wrist. Inhale it up to the elbow. Exhale it down towards the wrist. Inhale it up to the elbow. Exhale, take it all the way back. Big breath in. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Stay high on the back toes. Heel is up. Slowly lift up. Generous bend in both knees. Protect the lower lumbar first. Feel the hip flexor open. Lift the heart up off of the sternum. And then start to straighten the back leg. Good, a few breaths here. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, cactus, the elbows, heart goes forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. So in your downward facing dog, you guys press the body away from the ground. So you think of the forearms lifting, your ears are in line with your biceps, your hips are up and back. From your big breath in. Look forward, bend the knees at the end of your breath. Step or lightly float to the front of your mat. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sink deep, root all the way, Utkatasana. Root to rise, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. So we're gonna move through Surya Namaskar B. It's a moving meditation. It's gonna build a lot of fire and heat in the body, and that's what we're looking for. So if there's anything right now that's frustrating you or bothering you and you wanna burn it out of you, if there's any habits or internal dialogue or looping that you're experiencing in this time, invite the fire in to burn that out of you. So taking a second to set your intention. We invite the fire element into the body to burn away the things that don't serve us so that we can purify the body and create space for all the good that's already inside of us. So it's not about finding anything, it's about remembering who we are. It's not about searching for anything, it's about rediscovering what's already within. We link our breaths, one breath per movement. Inhale, arms reach, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart reaches, collarbones broaden, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to your plank, Chaturanga. Inhale, press the heart forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, draw the navel back, downward facing dog. Right away, the right foot steps between the hands. You stay high on the back foot. Inhale, rise for your crescent. Exhale, hands come down. That takes you all the way through your Chaturanga. Your inhale lifts you up, dog or cobra. Exhale, push it back. Downward facing dog. Same breath, left foot comes forward. Inhale, rise, crescent. Exhale, hands to the mat, burning and breathing the fire into your body. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, push it back. Downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Inhale, root your hands into the earth. Exhale, shoot that energy up towards your hips. Inhale, expand through the heart and the ribs. Exhale, shoot that energy down the heels of the feet into the earth. Inhale, broaden through the collarbones, fill up your chest. Bend your knees at the end of your breath, step or lightly float to the front of your mat. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, fold in. Hips sink deep, Utkatasana, chair pose. Root to rise, Urdhva Hastasana, hands to the heart. Tadasana. Again, inhale, arms reach, sink deep, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat, step or lightly float to your Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. Right foot steps between the hands, you rise all the way up, crescent. Exhale, hands come down, slowly Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. The same breath takes you all the way up, crescent. The same exhale takes you all the way through your Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. And you breathe that fire through you. From here, inhale the hips up and back. At the end of your breath, look forward, step or lightly float to the front of your mat. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, fold in. Sink the hips deep, Utkatasana, chair pose, root to rise, hands to heart, Samasthiti. One more time, breathing the fire in. Inhale, root deep, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or lightly float to your Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. Right foot steps between, rise all the way up, crescent. Exhale, windmill the hands to the mat, slowly lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. Left foot steps. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Slowly lower. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, pull it back. Downward facing dog, and then you breathe. From here, lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Big breath in. Go ahead and look underneath your right shoulder for a moment. Look underneath your right shoulder a whole bunch. Open up the right side of the body. Maybe you bend the knee, you open up the hip. And then square the hips towards the floor. Step the right foot between the hands. Good, we're gonna stay high on the back foot again, so we're staying in that crescent pose. Inhale, reach yourself up. Find your crescent. Now interlace the hands behind the back. Open up your chest, big breath in. Sink deep here for a moment. So pull the right femur into its socket, press the left hip forward. Notice if you need to bend the left leg a little to protect your lower lumbar. Maybe you're at a point where you're a little more open and you get to keep it straight. Play with that. Now find a focal point on the floor or the wall in front of you. Big breath in, and as you exhale, you're gonna shift onto that front leg, lift the left leg up and find Virabhadrasana 3. So you're lifting the left leg behind you, but you're dropping the hips towards the floor. The hands are pulling back, the chest is reaching forward. Looking down at that front foot, the heel should be behind the second toe, and you're lifting through the inner and outer ankles. Once you're here, you might start to get wobbly, great. If you fall, you get right back up. Heart reaches forward, try and straighten the back leg. Think up dog or cobra in the chest, so you're peeling the collarbones open. Good, one more big breath in. Nice, now exhale, take the hands down to the mat, find your standing split. So just go ahead and open the left leg high. If you wanna open it up to the side wall, that's okay. And then square your hips and notice the difference. As you lift that left leg high, notice that you have way smaller range of motion, and that's okay. Good, from here, you're gonna step that left leg behind your right. You're gonna crisscross your ankles for a moment. So the left foot is behind the right. Now you're gonna put a generous bend in the right knee, and then pull the right hip back, and feel the stretch along the connector and the outside, maybe the IT band of the left leg. Few breaths. Good, from here, you're gonna straighten the right leg, step the left foot next to the right. Open up the feet so they're a little wider than hip distance apart. I'm gonna cheat and face the camera. From here, you're gonna bend the knees a whole bunch, collect your right big toe with your right index pointer finger, your end thumb, so your peace sign fingers. Take your left hand to your hips. Sink a real deep belly in, lift your heart first, tuck your tailbone, and then stand and lift that right leg with you. So you're reaching the inside of the leg, right? So you want to grab for the foot from the inside, good. And so this might be it for you, and that's great. Remember that your balance and your flexibility have nothing to do with your character, so we're all safe. From here, you're gonna go ahead and straighten the leg out if you can, any amount. So if you need a strap here, find it. Any amount, just try to keep the torso tall. Plug the right shoulder into its socket. Good, few breaths. Nice, and then from here, you're gonna open the leg out to the side. Open the leg out to the side, standing nice and tall. Firm that outer gluteus medius in. Few breaths. Good, bring it back to center. Then this time, just hold the knee up without the hand. Hold the knee up without the hand, inhale the arms up. Good, you're gonna take the right hand underneath the left. You're still lifting that right leg. Yeah, we're using all of those muscles in the abdominal wall to hold that leg up. Good, now take that right knee over the left, cross once or twice, and now here you are in eagle's pose. Garudasana, pull the ribs in. Touch the thumb to the third eye. Good, and then if you wanna go ahead and hinge forward, you can, otherwise you can stay there. As you hinge forward, you scoop the lower belly, protract the shoulders, think of hollowing out the torso to get the knee and the elbows to touch. Few breaths, finding your balance, your single pointed focus. And then inhale, slowly rise. Good, from here, untwist your leg, Keep the arms as they are. You're gonna shoot the right leg back and you're gonna find Virabhadrasana 3 on the left side. Hang on to it. Flex the back foot a whole bunch. Toes point down, right hip points down. Engage the quad. One more big breath in. Good, exhale, slowly unravel the arms. Touch the hands to the mat. Lift the right leg up. And then step the right leg to meet the left. Hang here in your forward fold. Nice job, you guys. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Sink deep, Utkatasana chair pose, arms reach. Root to rise, hands to heart, Samastiti. Good, inhale, arms reach, sink deep, Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart reaches, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to your plank. Slowly take it through your vinyasa. And tuck the toes, push it back, downward facing dog. Nice, so now we're gonna take the left foot, step it between the hands. Stay high on the back foot, pull the left foot back, right hip forward, come up, find your crescent. So decide, do I need a bend in the right knee? Square the hips towards the front of the room. Now we're gonna interlace the hands, but make sure that you find the opposite lacing. Ooh. Find the opposite lacing. And so as the sensations come into your body, breathe through them and notice if they pass. Good, from here, look forward, find a focal point on the floor or the wall in front of you. Zip up the lower belly, exhale, hinge forward onto that front leg. Flex the back foot a whole bunch. So engaging your back leg is gonna make this 10 times easier. Lift the heel to the back of the room, toes point down, heart reaches forward. Few breaths. Think up dog or cobra in the chest, so you're broadening across the collarbones. Stay with that, hang on to it, you got it, you guys look so good. One more big breath in. Good, release the hands down to the mat, lift the leg high if you need. Open it up to the side wall first, then square the hips and then lift the leg really high. Notice the range of motion is way different when the hips are in alignment. Good, now step the right foot behind your left. Take a generous bend in the left knee. Pull the right hip back and feel, oh, that feels so good. Feel the connectors. Maybe your IT band, maybe your tensor fascia latte. Sounds like a Starbucks drink. Stay connected with your breath. Good, and then slowly straighten your left leg. Put the right leg next to the left. I'm gonna cheat and face the camera so we can do this together. Feet are a little wider than sits bones. Drop down, torso on your thighs. Collect your left toe with your peace sign pointer fingers. Scoop the belly in. So it's really important that you're not falling forward to lift yourself up, right? You wanna pull yourself into a little ball and you wanna put the right hand on the right hip, big breath in. Exhale, engage, lift through the pelvic floor, left leg comes with you. Good, once you're there, firm this outer hip. Chest is lifted. Now straighten your leg, any amount. Any amount. Try to drop the left hip down a little bit. Try and push through the floor. Spin the inseam of the right leg into the earth. Into the earth, that made no sense, behind you. And then slowly open your leg. Listen to what I mean, not what I say, you guys. Any amount. Good, I see your modifications and they're awesome. Good, and then bring it back to center. You're gonna hold the knee high. Hold the knee high, 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 lift the arms up. So use the hip flexor muscle, lift it up, up, up. Good, take the left arm underneath the right this time. Maybe you double wrap, single wrap. Take the left leg on top of the right, maybe double wrap or single. Pull the lower belly in and sit into your eagle pose. So your spine is tall. Chest is up, you're pulling the shoulders back. Once you have that, if you wanna hinge, you're gonna scoop the belly, protract the shoulders. Think of hollowing out the torso as you fold forward. Elbows touch the knee. I like to have my thumb touch my third eye. Gives me a place to focus on. The knuckle of my thumb. Good, you're slowly gonna rise up. Once you come up, if you fall, just get back up. You're gonna take the left leg, unlock it, And then kick it back, lean forward, Virabhadrasana 3 again on your right side with Garudasana arms. Flex the back foot back. Hang on to it, you guys, you got this. Reach, reach, reach. Good, one more big breath in. Exhale, slowly come up, unravel. Shake everything out. Do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. All right, shake it out, nice job. Coming to the top of your mat. Hands to heart center. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, heart reaches, collarbones broaden. Exhale, hands to the mat. We're gonna step back to plank. From here, we're gonna move right into Vashisthasana. We'll start on the left arm. So put the left hand in between, underneath your nose. And then everybody put your left knee down. Left knee down for a second. So we're gonna work on this pose to make sure it's in great alignment. So now look at your hands. 90% of us are gonna have our hand probably 2 inches too far forward. And watch me. Then when you try to balance, I'm all in my shoulder joint. This is so painful. So get your hand even closer than you think. I'd rather that you had your hand under you too far than in front of you. So your hand is directly underneath your shoulder and your wrist. Then I'm gonna bend my elbow a little bit. So notice that I'm not pressing the eye of the elbow forward. I'm engaging. There's a little bit of shake. I could shake my tricep skin. Okay, now I'm gonna press the ground away and I'm pressing out of this left leg too. Then I'm gonna rotate and lift the arm towards the ceiling, and now I'm not just gonna collapse in this arm. I'm gonna press up and reach through these fingertips. Once I reach through these fingertips, this right leg is gonna touch the ground and it's gonna extend also. So now I have strong right arm, strong left arm, strong right leg. From here, I'm gonna zip up my obliques of my left side and put the left leg underneath as well. And as you do that, can you shift your weight more forward to the top of your mat and then look down? It should look like your hand is directly underneath you and maybe a little less. Press the ground away a whole bunch. Reach the right arm towards the ceiling. Think of lifting the left hips up, and then the right hips are stacking right on top of the left. Soften the tailbone towards the heels, and then just for shits and giggles, lift the right leg up. Hold that there. Few breaths. Feel that gluteus medius fire. Flex the heel towards the back of the room. Good, now bend that right foot a whole bunch, step it behind you, and now you get to flip your dog. So you're opening up the chest, reaching to the front of the room. Few breaths, lift the hips high. And now exhale, look at your left hand, bring the right hand down to meet the left, and then kick the legs back over and find your plank pose. From plank, push yourself right down to downward facing dog. Good, inhale, shift forward to plank. Take the right hand down, put the right knee down. Okay, once you put the right knee down, check in with your shoulder. I can see in my reflection that my shoulder is actually still too high. So I'm gonna move my hand down even more. Enough to where I can engage my bicep and press the ground away. Good, the right knee is down. I'm pushing my left feet, my left toes into the mat, left arm up. So now that I'm pressing out of the right, lifting out of the left, pressing out of the left, now I'm gonna lift my right obliques and put the leg underneath as well. Front ribs come in. Tailbone towards the heels. Lift up. You got this. Few breaths, and just for shits and giggles, lift the left leg up. Hang on to it, reaching through all limbs. Press, press, press. Now bend the knee of the top leg, step the foot behind you, and then you can lift and open your chest. Press out of the ground. And then go ahead, look down at the right hand, take the left hand to meet the right, step the feet, drop to your knees, bring yourself into child's pose. Nice job, you guys. So from child's pose, go ahead, collect all of your fingers to touch each other. And then bend the elbows and bring the hands behind your head so you open up the triceps. And then walk your elbows forward 1 inch, and then exhale, sink the hips back down and feel the triceps kind of peel open all the way into the armpit. Nice job. All right, from here, the inversion we're going to take today is dolphin. So technically, down dog is an inversion, but anytime we get our heart over our head, that's an inversion. So we're just going to take dolphin today. So we started with our forearms down in the beginning of class. We're gonna do that again. So stacking your shoulders over your elbows line up with your wrists. You pronate into the earth with your forearms, and then you're gonna press the ground away a whole bunch. So you find that protraction in the shoulders. Think of pushing the head away from the mat as much as you can. From here, tuck your toes underneath you, and then start to lift the hips high. Once the hips are high, you're gonna walk your fingertips forward, but press the ground away. Walk the fingertips forward, but press the ground away. From here, if you want to lift the right leg up, you can go ahead and do that. From here, take the right leg down. Lift the left leg up. Take the left leg down. Walk yourself a little bit further, press the ground away more. Good. And then if you want to play and kick up a little bit, you can do that. If you have Pincha Mayurasana in your practice, you can find it. And then once you've had enough, drop down to your knees, take child's pose, toes together, knees wide, and then just fall back in, let your body settle. And anytime we have the heart over the head, it's exhilarating, it's invigorating, it brings lots of attention to the inside of the body. And that's what we're looking for, right? We want to drop in. It also shifts our perspective and gives us an opportunity to find joy and also tap into a little fear of possibly falling. And fear is a fun emotion when we choose it, not when we don't choose it though, right? So we can't hate on all of these emotions because they teach us so much about ourselves. Nice, and then from here, slowly walk yourself up. All right, so for our hip opener today, you guys, we've been doing a lot of single pigeon. We're gonna take Gomukhasana. So if that feels intense on your body, that's okay. You can take figure 4 or single pigeon, but follow me for a moment. So we're gonna have a seat with our knees in front of us. And then we're gonna take the left leg and we're gonna put it down. The knee is gonna face forward and then the foot is behind you. So if you have a block or a pillow, sometimes you're gonna wanna sit on your and raise your hips a little bit, and that's okay too. So find that version if you need that. Then from here, you're gonna take this leg, but try not to maneuver it, right? Try not to use the external levers of like forcing your body. See if you can just get your body to do it. So I'm gonna lean back, I'm gonna take this foot and I'm gonna bring it on top over here. And then I'm gonna walk the foot over, and then I'm gonna sit up so that the knee is kind of getting closer to the other knee. And then you'll start to feel right away like, woo, outer hip area, yeah? Once you're there, you can kind of lift up your booty and kind of stack yourself so you're on your sit bones. And then just notice that this might be a very constricting pose, but it's actually very opening. So taking a moment to be in here. It might look real different than those beautiful one-legged pigeons where we're laying flat and then we get to go into king pigeon, but this is a super, super intense and efficient hip opener. And so maybe sitting right here, you're gonna feel it and that feels great. Check in that you can flex both of your feet back and then slowly start to walk yourself forward. And then using your breath to create a little bit more space. And then I want you to again go in and decide unmanageable or uncomfortable. What's the difference? And the truth is that eventually the things that are uncomfortable become familiar, and then we actually feel safe in them. And so this is the time when we get quiet and we really get tuned in and when things start to come up. And so if anything arises, just observe it and breathe through it. Maybe you start to collapse into a little bit more. Maybe you drop your head. And then slowly start to bring yourself up. Good, from here, You're gonna take the left leg and just bring it out in front of you. Whew. Keep that right foot, you're gonna stomp it on top or on the other side of the left. You can kind of maneuver it now because we're not in a funny position. So you've got your knee straight up. You're gonna take the right hand behind your lower lumbar, big breath in with the left arm. Exhale, start to twist your body towards your right first, and then use your elbow on top of your knee and gently start to pull it over. So you're finding this twist. Good, from here, slowly bring yourself back to center. Go ahead, take that knee, you're gonna flip it to the inside, or take that foot, you're gonna put to the inside of the left thigh, drop the knee down. Inhale, arms reach, twist towards your left leg a little bit, and then exhale, hinge forward. Once you hinge forward, think the right shoulder's moving towards the left toe, and then fold yourself in. Staying connected with your breath. And then slowly roll yourself up. Nice. From here, you're gonna take both legs out in front of you, bend both knees, take the right leg underneath now, take the left leg on top. I like to put my weight back here so I can find my foot where I want it. Then drop the knee down. Try to move the feet towards the front of the mat. Try to kind of wiggle yourself into it. Good, then flex the feet to bypass the knees, but get into the hips. Notice if it's your tighter or your looser side. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, start to fold yourself in. Ooh. Ooh. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. And then slowly walk yourself up. From here, you're gonna lift the take the right leg straight out in front of you. And then you're gonna stomp the left foot down on top and over to the opposite side of the thigh. Once you have that, flex these toes back, lift the left arm, take it behind your lower lumbar. Inhale the right arm up, start to look towards your left. And then once you're as far as you can go, then you put your elbow on your knee and find your twist. And as you find your twist, think more of the twist happening in the upper torso than the lower. Slowly bring yourself back to center. Go ahead, collect that knee, put it to the inside of the thigh, drop the knee down. Inhale, the arms reach. So we're winding down our practice, and this is the time when your body, when your brain, when your ego, when your mind is gonna try to tell you to escape now. Can you stay in it? Can you stay here even as it gets a little quieter, as we start to slow down? Can you leave whatever's happening outside of your mat, outside of your mat? Can you commit and give yourself all of this time? Good, from here, slowly roll up. All right, you're gonna find yourself in Navasana. So pull the lower belly in, put the knees into the chest, sit up on your tailbone like this. So sometimes you're gonna find that your hamstrings are really tight and you might have to use your hands on your hamstrings like this, and that's okay. Or maybe there's a gentle bend in your knees the whole time, but that's all right. We're moving into our core work rather than our hamstrings. From here, hold on to your hamstrings, pull the chest forward, rock the shoulders back. From here, flip the palms up and then see if you can extend the legs out. Lift the heart as you extend the legs. Hold that for a second. From here, big breath in. As you exhale, we're gonna lower for 4, 3, 2, Ardha Navasana. So Ardha Navasana means your shoulders are off of the mat, your toes are off of the mat, you're looking down at your toes. Flex the toes back, squeeze the inseams of your thighs together, pull your lower belly in. Big breath in. As you exhale, we're gonna come up for 4, 3, 2, Ardha Navasana. Now we're in Navasana. Exhale, slowly lower for 4, 3, 2, Ardha Navasana. Inhale up, 4, 3, 2, Navasana. Exhale, take it back down. 4, 3, 2. Inhale, bring it back up. 4, 3, 2. Stay with that. Slowly going for 4, 3, 2. Inhale, up, go. 4, 3, 2. Pull the navel in, take it back down. 4, 3, 2. Bring it back up, go. 4, 3, 2. From here, interlace your hands, take them to the right side of the body, lower down for 4, 3, 2. Hold it there, lift the right leg up slowly. 4, 3, 2. Take the right leg back down, go. 4, 3, 2. Scapula off the mat, inhale the right leg up. 4, 3, 2. Hold it up there, switch the arms, split them down, look at the left toes. Flex the foot a whole bunch at the left foot. Now take the right hand on top of the left, interlace, lift your left shoulder off the mat. Take the right leg down for 4, 3, 2. Lift the left leg up slow for 4, 3, 2. Keep the shoulders off the mat, lower down for 4, 3, 2. Inhale up, take it, go. 4, 3, 2. Both legs are off the mat. Slowly lower left leg. 4, 3, 2. Lift the left leg up, take it. 4, 3, 2. One more time, take the left leg down. 4, 3, 2. Split the arms, look at your toes, belly in. Find your deep abdominal work. Few breaths. Inhale the arms overhead. Big breath in. Inhale the arms overhead, keep them here. Pull the lower belly in, one more big breath in. Exhale, bring the arms forward. Bring the knees up, hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze just for a second. Go ahead, from here, take the knees right over the hips, flex your toes. Interlace the hands behind your head, lift both shoulder blades off the mat, your heart lifts. Big breath in, exhale, take the right elbow to the left knee. Hold that up, now lift your left scapula off the mat. Good, exhale, bring it back to center. Big breath in. Exhale, take the left elbow to the right knee, lift your right scapula off the mat. Good, bring yourself back to center. Now take the right leg out in front of you, your hands are still behind your head. Take your left leg out in front of you, your hands are still behind your head. Take your right leg in, take your left leg in, both scapula are off the mat, chest is lifting. Take the right leg out in front of you, still lifting your chin. Take the left leg out in front of you, still lifting your chest. Take the left leg in now, take the right leg in, pull the belly in, get that deep, deep, deep burn in your belly. Take the right leg out in front of you, lift it up a third of the way. Take the left leg out, down, now switch. Good, keep the belly in, flex your heels forward. Now switch. Big breath in, keep the heels up, gaze is forward, shoulders off the mat, now switch. One more big breath in. Exhale, switch. One more big breath in. Exhale, switch. Lift your legs. Take your legs all the way up, try to get your shoulders off the mat, hug your knees into your chest, give it a squeeze. Good job, you guys, we're almost done. Take the hands and the arms, the feet and the arms straight up. From your big breath in, as you exhale, think of hollowing out your belly like we did in Garudasana. Hollow out your belly, lift everything off the mat. So try to lift your booty off of the mat, your lower lumbar off the mat, your scapula off the mat. Notice that my hands and my feet are crisscrossing each other, trying to get as little of my spine on the mat as possible. Lift, 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 get yourself into a tighter ball. Pull the ribs in, pull the chest in, pull the hips high. One more big breath in. Exhale, slowly release the feet down, arms down. Nice. Go ahead, put the feet together, let the knees fall wide open for Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. Let the navel release. Good, from here, stomp the feet down, heels in line with the sits bones. Touch your fingertips here to your heels. From here, you're gonna look up at the ceiling, you're not gonna move your head. Big breath in. Exhale, press through the heels of the feet. Good, and then press the hips high. Once you do that, release the booty, press the hamstrings even more. Once you're there, you can grab the sides of your mat or you can interlace your hands underneath you. From here, lift the hips higher, find your bridge pose. Open up the abdominal wall. Inseams of the thighs, move towards the floor. Toes are in, heels are out, press through the heels of the feet. Big breath in. Exhale, slowly unwind, one vertebrae at a time. Nice. Let yourself relax there for a moment. Good, now we're gonna come up onto our elbows. Keep your feet where they are, we're almost done. Come up onto your elbows. You're gonna put your hands so your fingers are facing forward now, and you're gonna come up like this. We're gonna take a reverse tabletop. Big breath in. As you exhale, press through the heels, lift the chest, drop the head back, press through the arms. Lift, lift, lift. Good, lift your hips, let your head fall back, press out of the shoulders. And then slowly release. Good, from here, spin your hands out a little bit at a diagonal. We're gonna take that one more time. Big breath in. Exhale, press the hips forward, open up the chest. And then slowly release. Nice, hug your knees, give yourself a squeeze. Put your feet into the earth and then slowly, actually no, let's do this. Grab the soles of your feet. Grab the soles of your feet. Try to keep your torso touching your thighs. Okay, so your torso's touching your thighs, and you're gonna start to straighten your legs, but keep your torso on your thighs. So notice that I'm walking my feet out, but I'm keeping my torso on my thighs. And see where it gets you. So there's a gentle bend in my knees, because if I straighten my legs, my torso is gonna come off of my thighs. So I wanna keep my torso on my thighs for this Paschimottanasana. And then if I sit here long enough and I breathe through it, I'll notice that maybe I can get one more inch. And then another inch. And then inhale, heart reaches forward. Exhale, fold in. And then slowly just start to rub your toes. Rub all those toes. Check out your quarantine pedicure. I actually gave myself a quarantine pedicure, so it looks pretty good today. But if you haven't, check out your quarantine pedicure. Go ahead and massage your feet for a second. Give your feet some love. Appreciate them for supporting you. And just holding gratitude and appreciation for your body. Rubbing through those ankle joints. That little tiny ankle joint holds you all day long. It's pretty impressive. Massage through the ankle joint. Massage your calves, your shins. Send any loving energy there. So if there's anything that's sore or any arthritic feelings or any previous injuries, just massaging your healing, loving gratitude into your body. And if you're in the quarantine right now without anybody else or an animal to touch you or to give you love, give yourself that love. Remember that your touch is just as powerful as somebody else's. And so loving and nurturing your own body. Rubbing your thighs, holding gratitude that you still have this mobility, even the pains that come through them, or the injuries that we're surviving or healing from. Just have gratitude that you have these limbs still attached to you. And as you move that gratitude and that energy up your body and up your thighs, massage around your hips and maybe into your lower lumbar, your spine, if there's any previous injuries or soreness, massage healing energy there. And then massage around the front of your body, so where your reproductive organs are, your sensual, sexual, feminine, masculine energies. Massaging and appreciating that energy, that space without any shame or judgment, just massaging that area, loving it. And then massaging up through the belly, that whole center of your body, all of your detoxifying organs and your digestional tract, all of that filters everything for you. Just hold space and gratitude for that piece of you, that we can put basically whatever we want in our bodies, and our bodies will filter it and turn it into nutrients and let what doesn't serve us move through us. So just gratitude for that area. That food is love, and we get to feast and enjoy and process through there. And then bigger than that, your muscles of compassion and empathy and forgiveness, your intuition, your moral compass, the things that give you the red flag notifications so that you know what's right and wrong, what sits well with you. Just massaging that area and loving it for all that it does for you. And then moving that over your chest and your hands to your heart and just breathing into your heart space for a moment. Maybe just consciously making an opportunity to connect with your heart on a daily basis. We're in our heads right now. We're planning, we're prepping, we're confused, we're scared, we're so many things. Can we breathe back into our heart space and just send love and gratitude there, awareness there, make our heart feel more like home than our mind right now. And then massage that energy across your chest and your collarbones, opening up through the décolleté, just honoring that our confidence muscles should be big and broad and wide, because we get to be here in this interesting time We get to be here. It's not a mistake that we were here. We have a specific light. We have a specific internal fabric that is resilient enough to handle what universe is gifting us. And so just confidence that we were chose to be here, that we're strong enough that we can handle this. And then moving that all the way up through your throat. So massaging your throat for a moment. And maybe right now there's something that you want to say, or you want to produce, or you want to create. This is your throat chakra. So allow that area to be clear and free. Speak your truth. Speak less of your worry. Speak more of your creativity and your intuition and your light. Massaging your throat chakra for a moment. And then just moving your hands up your ears and around anything that comes in by way of sound. So anything that's come into your body by way of sound that feels good, try to remember that stuff. So focusing on something sweet that somebody said, something great that you heard in the news or from a relative, something lovely, massaging your ears, appreciating the things that come in that are joyous through the sense of sound. And then moving your hands over your eyes and just kind of massaging around your eye socket and just being grateful for the things that come into you by the sense of sight. Where have you seen beauty? Where have you seen things that have inspired you or reminded you of the good or the hope or the faith in people? Just massaging that area and holding gratitude for the things that come in through the sense of sight. And then massaging up towards your head and scratching just the frontal lobe. And so just being grateful for the fact that we have this consciousness, that we get to think, we get to decide, we get to choose. We even get to observe that we are not our thoughts, we have thoughts. And so we get to choose our thoughts and rearrange them and create a reality in a world that we love to live in. And so just massaging all of these wonderful tools that we have, that we've been gifted in this human experience, and then take it all the way down to the floor. Lying yourself on your mat. Roll both scapula underneath you. Let the legs fall a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Soften the tailbone towards the heels, and then let the feet flop open to the side. Let the chest expand, and then find yourself in this final pose, this corpse pose, Shavasana. And so really allowing all of the benefits of your practice to sink in. Going back to regular breathing and just honoring that all you have to do now is rest. And so the card that we pulled is adapt. The card has a fox on it. My instincts keep me adaptable in the face of any obstacle. When we are flexible and adaptable, life expands. When things unexpectedly shift course, we can either see into the realm of enchanted possibility, or we can become rigid with despair. Fox medicine connects you to your natural ability to adapt, be flexible, and use your senses to discern and understand what is in front of you. She is a beautiful and stealth animal with sharp senses and a keen instinct. She's also a shapeshifter and can become invisible by blending in with her surroundings and swiftly moving through tricky situations. Tap into your inner fox and practice being aware and present in your environment. Whenever necessary, adapt and shapeshift with grace, and an opportunity or solution will reveal itself that may have otherwise remained hidden. So slowly starting to bring your focus back to your breath, maybe rubbing the tips of your fingers together, wiggling your toes. Slowly bringing yourself onto your right side into a fetal position. And just honoring what pieces of you you can leave behind you in this practice. So Shavasana is such a beautiful pose because we have the opportunity to shed or gently remind ourselves of a piece of us that we're trying to leave behind. Not that we have any resentments or shame around that version of us, but that version of us has already served us. We thank it and we move on, creating space for a new version of us, for the evolution. Using your hand to push yourself back up to seated, coming to the top of your mat, either in hero's pose or cross-legged position, whatever suits you. Taking the hands to the heart for a moment, just sealing in your practice. We'll close this practice with one collective Om. And if you find any reservation in Om, or it feels silly, or you're afraid to lean into that, I invite you to lean even further into it. Because so many times the treasure that we're searching for is buried in the cave that we're afraid to go into. And when things are abrasive or pushed back at us, it's usually where the work needs to be done. So from here, inhaling from root all the way to crown, deep breath in for Om. Gently blinking your eyes open. Bowing forward to seal in your practice. Taking your hands from your third eye to your lips and then your heart, shining the light of our practice, of our community, of our yoga, through what we think, what we say, and in what we do. Namaste. Namaste, you guys. Thank you so much.